to the hungover edition of the Flow Show.
Dude, I just woke up from a nap, dude. Like,
I went to bed. I went to bed at 5 a.m. I woke up at 10, and I am going to try to get a nap before I go to work tonight. Because when I go to work tonight, I only get a couple hours sleep and I have to wake up early to go to Venice Beach.
Oh yeah,
so,
I was gonna say you got Venice on Sunday, right?
Yes, Venice Sunday, so it's gonna be a little tough.
Hey, you know what? Everyone that does take time to watch this, go and check out what Baca does on at Venice, man. Lots of fun.
It's awesome.
Lots of characters out there. I've been catching Legos footage as well, but it's been. I mean, that's what you expect at Venice. I mean, it's nice to know that when California's burning down, Venice Beach will still be Venice Beach. You know what I mean? So
yeah. What's the air quality in Venice right now?
I don't know. It has to be better than it is right here in the valley in Van Nuys. I walk outside and it's hazy, man. It's crazy. What's going on over there in Orange County?
Besides
having all lives matter.
There's a lot of ash and stuff coming from the San Bernardino fires.
A lot of awkward side hugs coming from San Bernardino.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's
nice
what
plug.
we do out here.
Nice plug. No, we had on Monday, dude. I like opened the door to get the mail, and there was just ash falling from the sky. I'm like, what is going on? And then I looked like a little bit past like the mountains because I'm in the IE, so it's like I see all this smoke, and I'm like, dude, that can't be the same fire. And I guess there was some other fire that got started. You know, the Santa Ana wind's been blowing like crazy out this way as well, so that's not helping the wildfire situation out in California. But yeah, it's been crazy. Like I'll go outside and it'll be like 11, 10 in the morning, and I'm like, yo, why does it look like it's 6 in the afternoon? Like the sun's nowhere to be found, and if you see it, it's like, you know, red hot Cheeto red. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's crazy. Yeah, it's been. I like one of my coworkers, he works graveyard, and I was like, how was it tonight? He's like, dude, I swear the world's gonna end. I was like, why do you say that? He's like, dude, this is some apocalyptic type shit. This is looking weird. I'm like, yeah, I feel you. It does look weird, but I mean, I don't know. I mean,
We've been saying that since like March.
I mean, regardless, the bills got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. It's a crazy time.
Yeah, man.
And it's really, really, really nuts, man. But I'm happy that we have this escape called wrestling. And, you know, like we were talking about before the podcast started, we've just been super impressed with WWE and Raw lately, right?
So this is my beef, though.
I mean, all I'll say is, you know, like you said, everybody needs something. We got the Flow Show. So quick introduction, Quincy Jones ago, Young Baca. We also got Brian Andrew, who is the star of not only the Awkward Side Hug podcast, but they're going to be starting some fantasy football. If you're interested, hit him up, Brian Andrew _. But, we are talking about how much Raw sucked before we got on the air. I know,
so I get upset with the Wrestle Talk titles that says.
Well, you know what's funny is like I don't watch a lot of Wrestle Talk.
That's clickbait. I like Wrestle Talk, but they're just so dramatic and so over the top.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. No, you're right. My brother watches them a lot, and I like watching it because it is entertaining when he does send me clips, but. I usually will go to like news sites. I mean, if there's anyone I do watch, it's like What Culture, because I've been watching them since like way back in the day. So, and they could be over the top too. You know what I mean? That's how you sell your videos. It's the characters and stuff like that. So I get it.
If I could be honest, I don't watch Wrestle Talk too often if I'm not watching wrestling, though. I have to be watching wrestling to be watching these videos because I don't like it, like hearing people talk about wrestling in my own like. I don't know, imaginary BS in my head. Like I have to at least know what's going on, even if it's just a little bit, to hear other people talk about it. And I'll admit, my beef is with this show that we're doing right now is I was doing really good watching wrestling for like like a month, and then we didn't record too much, and then now we're gonna record, and I did not watch a single thing of wrestling this week except for 2 hours of Raw, and I was gonna finish Raw, and I just decided not to.
Now, I think that last hour you could have done without. I mean,
all right.
That's the thing with Raw. It's like my brother, he'll be like, "Yeah, I heard Raw sucked," and I'm like, "Did you watch it?" Because he usually doesn't. I'll watch it, and I'm like, "Well, there was some hits and there were some misses, but it wasn't completely trash." I mean, I wasn't mad at what happened last week. You know, you had Cedric Alexander joining the Hurt Business.
Who had that pick? Somebody had that pick, right?
Did we have that pick?
I had
maybe me.
I think you had it. Yeah, I think you had it.
But I still want Kevin Owens. I want my own.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Where's he at? No, but hey, you know what? They look good together though. They collectively they look dope.
I just don't want Shelton Benjamin Like, I really hope they don't push the Shelton Benjamin issue with Cedric a little too much, because I think if all 4 of them from the start got along together, I think that'd be cool. And then maybe there was a little bit of beef in the middle. But to be honest, I don't want Shelton kicked out of the group either at some point, because they like Cedric a little bit more. Because I like Shelton in the group.
I can see that. Like we've seen that shit in movies too, where it's a guy who has a suspicion about someone, but every time he tries to come forward with the suspicion, he ends up looking foolish until finally it gets revealed, and then it's like, this is what I've been trying to tell you this whole time.
Fast and Furious 1, he was correct. Brian was a cop, and the whole time he got shit for it, and he said he's a cop, dog. He's a fucking cop.
Yeah.
And he was right. And he was fucking right. And we villainize him that I can't think of his name right now, but we villainize him that he was the bad guy, but he knew the whole fucking time, and he was trying to protect his
talking
friends.
about
Brian was the fucking cop.
Because he got yelled at because the Buster kept us out of handcuffs.
Yeah,
I know exactly.
Greatest movie of all time, man.
Is it Vince?
Greatest movie of all time. But he was right.
Yeah.
Finn, something like that.
Yeah.
Something.
It was
but
like
he was right. He was right. He was looking out for his friends. He had suspicion that this guy was a cop. What if Brian never decided to give Tom the keys at the end of Fast and Furious 1? There would be no Fast and Furious movie. He would have just dimed him out, and that this guy is getting villainized for.
Would have never heard about this guy.
100%, man. Imagine you sleep with a guy, and this guy's a bad guy. This guy's a bad guy. We're talking about Me Too and all this stuff. Brian was a fucking cop, and he was sleeping with Dom's sister.
He was.
And then,
unprofessional.
I feel like you're talking about me, dude.
Crazy, dude.
I keep hearing that name.
He's a Brian guy. He's a son of a bitch.
Yeah, but he's a cop. He's lying to this woman, and he's sleeping with her.
You've been holding on to this for like 25 years, dude.
Well, hold on.
He's sleeping with this woman, and he knows that he's trying to get her family indicted. That's a bad guy.
Come on,
right?
Baca. First of all, you're saying it wrong. That's what the LAPD call building a case. So let's just put that on the side. But no, you're right. I mean, I was surprised to see Shelton kind of give him the sideways kind of look real quick, like all out the gate. Because I was like, well, why else would you just beat up Ricochet? Like, I don't see Ricochet like, I understand. This is my sacrifice. We're going to go the long run. Don't even trip.
Let's break this down, because I feel like Raw always is like has a tough time expanding stories too, right?
I feel like, they work with the same crew. Even though they have 3 hours, if you notice, they've been working with the same guys and pushing the same guys and putting the same people in similar matches for like the last like several months.
Would have made sense to you, because I feel like this would have made more sense to me. They beat up Cedric Alexander. And then he gets frustrated that he keeps getting his ass kicked by these guys because he's always with this group. So he takes it out on his own team. But then he walks out really frustrated and still like, pissed off. But he doesn't recognize that the Hurt Business are about to win the match. He doesn't smile. He doesn't do anything. And then in a week or two, you start seeing him being more sold on MVP's pitch. I think that would have been better than him just randomly smiling after getting his ass kicked by the Hurt Business and then joining the Hurt Business like 10 minutes later.
I think it's I get what they were doing, because I feel like this. They, in their minds, they put out the seeds that were planted, but it wasn't executed. I mean, they were good, but it wasn't like it could have really been the way that you just booked it. But they had little moments where you had, MVP getting or Cedric getting the roll up on MVP the week before, and then MVP stopping the beat down post match only just to beat him up like later, and kind of like, see what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach you something. So it's like, I don't know. It came off real gangster movie like. You know what I mean? Where it's like they got to teach you with tough love, and whereas I think they could have waited another week to, like you say, kind of display that he's kind of turning a little bit. I wasn't mad at the I guess the randomness of how it looked on Monday, only because, dude, we've seen these guys wrestle each other for like the last couple of weeks. So I was like getting ready to turn the channel, like, okay, I can fast forward through this. It's another 6-man between the Hurt Business and the Fly Boys. And then all of a sudden he turns, and I was like, oh, okay, this was actually kind of worth sticking, But then again, on another, back to your point, if they would have spent some more time promoting the split or the potential split, then he would have had more people wanting to pay attention to that match, looking to see if it's going to happen. But I mean, I'm not mad at the timing. I think that they needed to do something, because Hurt Business were kind of spinning their wheels. I mean, they just keep hovering around Apollo.
Right.
So this definitely makes, if they're going to still continue a feud between both groups, this definitely makes it a little bit more interesting. You know what I mean?
If they really wanted to force the 8-man tag later, Adam Pierce, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There's just the
Wow.
GM that just floats around. I don't know why, because I keep getting his name confused with a lot of people. That's why, like,
Oh, Adam Pierce.
yeah.
That's the thing is, like, they don't really say who he is, like, on screen, like what his position is.
Like,
But
I
then
used to
he's
watch
been
him
handling
wrestle at CWF in Hollywood. Like,
yeah. And he's I mean, he used to be in Ring of Honor as well. Like,
Adam Pierce, the white bald guy.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, he's a vet. He just, he never broke out. I mean, it's the story of a lot of guys.
So he's basically the GM.
He's on TV. He's on TV more than anybody, man.
He's basically the GM. So
the week before he was on TV with Vince, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So are you mad that they didn't say he's the GM for him?
No, I'm cool with whatever they're trying to keep low key, just in case they ever have to pull the plug on it. I'm actually pretty cool with it. I'm just saying, since he's an on-screen character now, you could have easily had the situation where it's the Hurt Business versus because they're like, wait, we never got, that wasn't fair. What happened to 6-man tag? We're gonna have another match later, and then Adam Pierce could say, Cedric, you're with the Hurt Business, even if he doesn't necessarily want to be yet. And then they win the match again, and then he starts realizing, hey, being part of this group's not so bad.
I'm actually getting wins and not getting my ass whipped. Yeah,
because like I just don't think like that 15-minute transit. Like if they really wanted to force it, they could have did stuff in between the 6-man tag and the 8-man tag later.
Like some miscommunication type stuff. Yeah, I could see that.
But it's just like the fact that it happened within the same like 6 minutes. He went from getting his ass kicked to being like, all right, I'm cool with these guys. Like, it just does not make sense to me.
But that might have been the thing. That might have been the thing that broke him, right? Like the Joker. The Joker kept getting his ass kicked, and he finally started laughing, and it broke him.
Right, which I feel like that makes sense. I just don't feel like he would be like, all right, because I still think he would have his doubts about joining the group, right?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to come off as real morbid here, but I mean, if we're talking in terms of prison system type stuff, they do the test of honor.
You get jumped in. Yeah.
And then they line you up, and you get essentially beat up by members of crews one-on-one after each other, no break after each fight, and then you end up joining these guys.
Yeah.
It's
called getting jumped in. It's a thing that's been going. I'm so bad at this podcast today, man.
You good.
It's not getting jumped in. It's been going.
We don't have that shit here in Anaheim. Sorry, I didn't know.
This is his TO. No, that was his TOH. His test of honor.
Oh man.
But do you think MVP had to sell that on Vince? Is like MVP was like, hey, so there's this thing that happens like in prisons and in gangs. And
well,
stuff,
I don't think because you got to remember MVP is a former convict, so he's like, trust me, Vince, I know these things. And then he's like, go ask Booker T, and Booker T's old dog. I was thinking Booker T would have been a good guy to get as a vet for this group if they just.
So we're just putting all the black. But we're just putting all the black people together.
All the 50-year-old black people. Or?
I mean, look, dude, like you can see. Look at that picture of the Hurt Business that they took after Cedric joined. There's no way you're not going to be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah,
especially when you got MVP who like. He came back with the Black Panther tights and everything, so it's like,
So, do you feel
forever?
We're spending a lot of time on this, but do you feel that Cedric Alexander is supposed to maybe get? I'm not necessarily a push, but he is the youngest guy in the group. He is the one that has the most potential.
I hope it does give him a push because when Heyman was there, and it goes back to your first point about whether or not it's been falling apart without Heyman. That was one of his guys, like him, Ricochet, Aleister Black. But then when he left, a lot of guys were like, shit, I guess we're kind of, SOL because Vince isn't really high on Cedric, even though Triple H is. But I'm hoping now that he's in a different group with people that Vince probably does like, that he'll probably get a fair shake, I should say. I just wondering, the Cruiserweight Championship's not on Raw anymore. So I'm wondering if they're going to have him team up with like Shelton to try to go for the tag straps or something.
My hot take, he's going to continuously annoy Shelton Benjamin while they both chase for the 24/7 championship.
Oh, shit.
And they're going to get in each other's way, and they're going to piss each other off.
I kind of don't want that to happen, but I could see WWE totally doing
Yeah,
that.
why do we got to split the brothers up? Why can't two brothers coexist together in one group?
I would be so down for
could be
Sean
this-
Benjamin and
This could be the
Cedric
sequel to
tag
Four
team.
Brothers right here. Mark Wahlberg.
I love Four Brothers.
I love Four Brothers too.
I love Four Brothers.
That showed me the Volvo was a badass vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
See, no one got jumped into the Four Brothers gang though.
No one did.
That's why
No,
I'm
they got-
confused. All right. They were born into that somehow.
They were born into that life, and they knew what they signed up for. Especially Andre Benjamin with his Volvo driving ass.
They're all blood related, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? There's some other wrestling going on. Or there's some news. You guys, I mean, we were talking about Renee Young a couple episodes ago. And this, I guess, this is more or less just a throwback in Baca's face. You know, you said that she's replaceable, and it wasn't that big deal that she left. But why is her non-compete clause over a year long?
Because it's business. It's business.
Right? There's people who don't get that. Like,
listen,
bro,
Vince McMahon's a savage businessman. There's no argument about that.
Is this for just wrestling, or is this?
I think it has a little bit to do with the Fox stuff, because I think she's still technically like a contracted Fox employer, because they said that if there was she said that there was like something that they needed her to do with the host or whatever, that they can still, you know, she's kind of like on deck, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Waiting to get in the batter's box if they need her, pretty much. But yeah, so I don't know if that has to do with Fox or if that's entirely WWE, but yeah, she said it's like an upwards of a whole year of not not doing anything wrestling related.
Sucks, man. Life sucks.
Are you telling me that Zack Ryder gets 90 days?
That's what I'm saying, right?
And then Renee Young, the star of WWE, the face of the company, gets up to a year? That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, you know, you got guys like Rusev just being able to just show up whenever they want.
Oh, are we going to talk about how crazy Rusev looks too?
He don't look that crazy, man.
He looks dope. He looks different.
I mean, like, I don't know, it's funny. I feel like a lot of people had a lot of like drastic reactions to it. I'm like, dude, Cody has blonde hair. Like, it is what it is. Like,
Cody has a neck tattoo. Like,
that's
that
so
guy.
Bad.
If his wrestling career ever went to shit, he probably can't even get a job at a grocery store. Like, Cody's life.
I would hope he'd open his own grocery store.
when he got that tattoo.
Store.
He had to double down his AEW thing. He went up to everyone in the elite and was like, "This has to work now." Like,
he's like, "Because I just got this ink. My wife doesn't know about it yet. I'm telling you guys before she hears about it. Right. But just know this got to go. All right, I got to go tell my wife." Like, no, seriously. Like, I remember I was there at Full Gear, right? And then the whole time we were in the crowd, we're looking up at the camera, like at the monitor. We're like, "Yo, what the hell is that shit on his neck?" And everyone's like, "I think it's a tattoo." We're like, "No, it's not a tattoo." And everyone's like, you know, we're thinking it's just like body paint. You know, he does the whole USA thing all the time. Like he embody, you know, we're just thinking that it's just that. And then as we go on, we're like, no, dude, that thing's moving every time he's moving. And we're like, holy shit, that's a neck tattoo. And I remember like loud in front of all these people, just because I happen to be the only minority in my row. I was like, oh, damn, he put on for the crew. Oh, he's down for the gang now. And everyone's like, what is that?
Listen, I have news for you, bud. You weren't the only minority in your row. You're the only minority in the whole stadium. Man.
Well, let me ask you this.
There was a few people behind me.
How many black people did you see while you were there?
Probably a good 20.
But that event was in Baltimore, right?
Quincy, hold on. Quincy,
yes.
20?
That I've seen The Wire.
Yeah. Oh, no, dude. Where I was staying looked like The Wire, bro. I was at a B&B, and then I hit the corner to go to a pizza place down the way to get something to eat. Bro, I take 2 steps, and there's a bunch of kids already running away from. You see a cop, bloop bloop. Cops these kids are just scrambling. I'm like, yo, what the? I'm like, I could have swore this looks very familiar.
That's what happens when Omar's not there to protect the streets, man.
I thought.
Well, Omar, man.
I thought Omar was
out.
Come
Everything
you
survive. You got taken out by some little kid.
Every time I see that actor on an HBO show, I'm like, "That's Omar." You know, that's
all he is.
That's a good actor.
I don't know who this Michael Williams guy is, but that Omar, man.
That's Omar.
Oh man.
Well, I know some rappers. They get face tattoos because that's better than themselves. They get face tattoos and they say this has to work now because I have these tattoos on my face, and that's what Cody was doing. Cody said this has to work. I'm gonna get this stupid ugly tattoo on my neck.
I mean,
it's an ugly tattoo. We can all agree, right?
What better motivation to make sure you make something work than to put something on your face, right?
Yeah. It's not even like, I feel like it wasn't even the final logo too before he put that shit on, on his neck. He's like,
I just need this for Saturday. Just touch it up.
That seems like a very Cody thing to do, especially with the TNT title. I understand COVID's the reason why that title didn't get finished, but he was just like, "Nah, we need this shit. I don't give a shit how it looks. I'm just
tattoo, the title, the oh man. You know what? Did you guys see that stupid ass news? I guess breaking news announcement that they did on AEW.
Was it about that show?
Yeah, man. The whole episode are like, and Cody has an important announcement at the end of this. That's all they kept saying. And Cody has an important, and I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe he's going to announce he's going to be stepping away for a little bit, which is fine. Everyone's been saying he's like been too oversaturated, but no, it's this stupid ass freaking game show.
I think that's a big deal for Cody, man.
No, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's the way. I mean, like, dude, if that's what it is, then say that's what it is. Don't act like it's like an update on his injury or anything.
Yeah, like a TNT announcement more so, or say like a big TNT announcement.
Well, even if you guys,
Cody had a big announcement. That's a big announcement for Cody. That's a huge deal, man.
I guess.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, I put like this. It's different when it opens up and it's this pre-recorded promo and he's like talking about how, like, you know, people are wondering about my injury, if that means I'm gonna go home. Or if I'm, I always say the term I go big a lot, and I'm like, okay, what's he saying? And then all of a sudden, it's a show called The Go Big Show, and I'm like, so go big or go home. This is what I'm like. Why'd you even bring your injury?
Well, I don't even know what the show is.
It's like an extreme talent show where it's like him, Snoop Dogg, Rosario Dawson. I can't remember the other judge. There's 4. It's like America's Got Talent with like
for rednecks.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's crazy. Like,
I didn't even know that. I didn't even finish the ad. So Cody's like, one of the judges?
It's like, from what I saw, you saw a lot of people doing some extreme talents, and then they vote on it. I mean, it had a real, like, the Voice vibe to it because it had 4 seats. Yeah. Everyone's kind of giving their vote and stuff on it. I mean, look, it's big 100%. Mainstream wise and coverage and cross promotion.
He's with Snoop, man.
Yeah. And because people I don't know anyone who doesn't love Snoop, right?
Oh, he's the greatest, man.
So it's like if you see him with Snoop and it's on TBS,
a lot of people don't like Snoop.
And you think about the age demo that's going to be watching TBS as they have been.
Oh, it's all about the demos too. It's all about the demos.
100%, dude. I mean,
all about the demos.
I mean, these people are going to be like, well, who is this guy? But then I ain't going to lie, that neck tattoo makes me think that they're going to be like, what is up with this guy? You know what I mean?
What's that thing coming out of your collar?
Yeah, hey, you got something, you spilled some Captain America birthday cake on your neck, young man.
And then, because he doesn't host it because my favorite comedian, Port Kreischer, he's
first of all, look, I like dude, but I'll put it like this. I'll go the high road. I'm happy to see him.
Oh, don't go the high road.
I am, because and you'll hear it. I'm happy to see him
get Young Baca, the low road.
I'm happy to see him get work because the machine joke, he's been leaning on it way too long.
Dude, he's the funniest dude around, man.
It's funny.
I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Dude, every single time he's on YouTube, he's on another show talking about that joke.
You play the hits, man. You play the hits. If you go to the radio station, you play the hits, man.
If that's been his hit, if that's his hit, then that's like Backstreet and No Diggity, because that's.
You don't think that's a crazy story that this guy robbed a train with the Russian mafia?
What percentage of it is true?
People came out and said that they robbed him when they were in college.
You said people robbed him?
No. People are saying that they were robbed by him when they were in college.
Hit on Dark Side of the Ring, or?
Nah. No, it might be an episode, right? Like, I mean, look, I have love for dude because I love the joke, but I've been like coming back to.
You know, this is a podcast about wrestling. You're asking me the facts about a joke that somebody says, and this is a podcast about make-believe fights.
Did I ask you the details?
You said what part of it's factual. You said what part of it's factual.
I think you were. It was a rhetorical, and I think you were a little bit forthcoming.
No. I'm just saying it's for us to talk about like what's fact and what isn't. When we're arguing about pre-tournament fights, it's a little. I mean,
pre-written promos and pre-written jokes, and I like I said, I'm glad to see dude get work. I guess bigger picture is good for Cody and promotion for AEW.
I think it's great for Cody, man. Yeah, 100%, man.
And obviously,
that's the most mainstream thing he's ever done.
Yeah. Outside of being on WWE, in full pain. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's more mainstream than being on WWE because he
I
was a
would-
mid-card guy on
I-
WWE.
I would mark the fuck out if we got Stardust debut in AEW, dude.
Really?
He's like, I got these injuries. I got to take some time off. And then the thing is, the paint can't go over the tattoo because it just doesn't stick well for some reason. So there's just like a big.
So
Cody.
does that mean that you'd have him come back and bring back the Ascension with him?
Yeah, I
and
would.
and do the Cosmic Wasteland all over again?
I'm surprised
yeah,
the Ascension hasn't been signed yet by AEW.
Dude, if I was them, dude, I would have signed them for to join the Dark Order. Actually, make them look like
right.
Threatening instead of.
I mean,
silver.
we signed every ex-WWE wrestler, right?
Okay.
Let's keep it going.
Dude, see, that's the thing, dude. Like, yeah, can we bring that up? People can just shove it up their ass, bro. Like, what do you expect Rusev to do? What do you expect him to do, bro? Like, he's just not going to work.
I'm with you. I hear you.
No,
I honestly thought
there's been way
if I'm
too many
Rusev,
people.
if I'm Rusev, I'll take the check 100%. But if AEW says this is a brand new league and we're doing all this stuff, and every champion is an ex-WWE wrestler, then something's going on. Because the biggest thing that people were talking about was that WWE doesn't push new wrestlers and don't build new talent. Well, what's going on?
Let me ask you this.
The biggest thing, Brandy Rhodes comes out and talks about how they're going to, really put on for the women, and they have this whole spill about how she loves being a woman wrestler, and now there's like no women's wrestling on AEW.
So I got 2 points on that. Three. The third is we don't co-sign whatever she says about the women's division. Second, for the fact that she's barely a women's wrestler. And third, or second, I wouldn't expect her to get it right the first time.
First of all, yeah,
if
Brandy
That's
thinks
fine,
she
but
needs to
don't-
carry the division on her shoulders,
I'm not giving her no
then
excuse.
that's the issue.
I hear you.
She talked up a check that not even Tony Khan wanted to cash.
Yeah, they were probably like, hey, relax, right?
This is my thing, like, because people they're quick to point out the whole WWE thing, ex-champions or not, whatever. How is this any different from WWE signing guys like Stone Cold, or Steve Austin at the time, signing guys
because
signing guys like Vinny Vegas, who was fucking Oz in WCW, became Diesel. You know what I mean? Signing guys like Terra Rising, who wasn't
Stone
doing
Cold.
shit.
Stone Cold wasn't anybody when it was WCW.
WWE. He wasn't.
WWE,
he wasn't part of a tag team champion team with Brian Pillman and former U.S. Championship champion.
You cannot compare what he did in WCW to what he did in WWE. We became the most marketable,
but that's my point.
Wrestler of all time.
That's my point, bro. Because people are so hung up on what these people did in WWE. How is it different? These people didn't get like you think about it.
It's a huge
guys like
AEW said we are going to create new stars.
That's why it's a big difference. But look at WWE. Half the roster is Ring of Honor.
WWE never says that.
Bro, half the roster is Ring of Honor, bro. But listen, check out my point. Stunning Steve Austin, Vinny Vegas, Terra Rising, Mick Foley. All these guys did, in our eyes, WCW did nothing. They are all let go. They were all fired. And then what happened? They came over to WWE, who re-signed these WCW guys and did something with the potential people didn't see in them. How is that different from what AEW is doing from WWE? That's all I'm saying.
Because AEW said we are going to create new stars. We're going to do wrestling different. But they're not. They're just recycling all these guys. They're going to hack it in WWE.
Let me throw this out there to you, because I think we're missing like a very obvious thing that I think we're just thinking over. Who is, to be honest, probably the face of the elite in terms of AEW, and it's Cody Rhodes.
I love Cody, but
Cody is the definition of a guy who did not get pushed into WWE and is now making himself a star on AEW.
100%. But
obviously,
that's not true. Cody made himself on the indies, and he reinvented himself, and he made people like me a fan. But if you go say who's the face of AEW, it's Jon Moxley.
I don't think so. So,
isn't your champion the face of it?
No, he's just your champion. The WWE's proven that a lot. You can't have John Cena headline when CM Punk's champion.
I was just gonna say, like,
are we comparing Cody Rhodes and John Cena? Because I will fucking
in terms of AEW to WWE, if we were, he's probably John Cena there.
This fucking podcast. No, he's not. He's not.
Who's the John Cena of AEW?
Yeah,
then?
I was gonna say who would be the John Cena of AEW if it's not?
There's not. So who's Undertaker of AEW?
Look.
There's not always comparisons made.
Wouldn't it make sense that he's the John Cena because everyone's already saying, oh, he booked himself to win. Oh,
he's the Triple H.
Oh, that's true.
Cena didn't book himself. Cena just did what he had to do.
No, he had some pulls sometimes.
If it was you, how many times would you want to lose? They said, "Hey, Bach, you're gonna win again tonight."
It depends what your value is.
If you're asking me if I am John Cena, that's a different question. If you're asking me as Quincy Jones, a professional wrestler who loves wrestling that may want to get some other guys over, that's a whole nother long ass conversation.
You're a fucking bullshit.
But if I'm John Cena,
Kenny Mack walks in the office. He says, "Hey, Bach, you're gonna go over again tonight." All right, cool, sounds good.
No.
Hey, Bach, you're going over again Nexus tonight. All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you.
If I'm John Cena,
how are we going to do this? It's going to be no pause. You're the last one left. Okay, cool.
I'll gladly lose so I can take some time off from throwing my body in a ring and get paid off a movie. That's what I do.
All right.
Hey, Baca, you're gonna win. You're gonna come back and win the Royal Rumble. All right, sounds like a plan. Thanks, Vince.
Let me put this in perspective though.
I'm healed up after 4 months, but cool.
Yeah.
Like using your point that like Cody Rhodes made himself as an indie star too. Like that's just throwing out there that the elite doesn't necessarily need to get over either. And the Young Bucks haven't won championships yet and stuff like that. Hangman and Kenny Omega were tag champions, so they're kind of getting Hangman over. Hangman's probably one of the more over stars. If you're watching the product, obviously, if you're new to the product, you don't know. But I think Hangman is actually super over with the AEW crowd.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'd agree because last year at All Out, granted, everybody was like tired out from the tag team ladder match between the Bucks and the Lucha Bros. But after that, first time they were crowning their AEW champion between Jericho and Hangman. I was going for Hangman, but that crowd was not. And Hangman was the face. That crowd was very heavy into Jericho. But fast forward a year now, if they were to do that match again, I would think that crowd would be more heavily into Hangman. I think he's one of the better projects that they've taken on. His character development has been very good. Promo's been good. The story they've been able to tell with him. There's times where I actually feel sorry for the guy, and there's times where I actually think this guy's an asshole, and it's all about how he delivers it. So they've been doing really well with guys like him, but because that's the thing. That's the hang up that AEW has is like, yeah, they have this mission statement, but I had high hopes for Sean Spears. I don't know what's going on with him right now. And I can say that being a huge fan of his, and he's not doing shit.
So I think this goes against what Baca was kind of saying in a way. To be honest, I don't think it's doing anything about the new stars that they're creating. I actually think it's more so that they're bringing in WWE stars and they have nothing for them. And it's just
what do you guys always yell at WWE about? Oh, they're not doing anything with fucking Joe Smo indie wrestler guy that they signed. But AEW's not doing anything with these guys either.
But to be honest, just because AEW and WWE do it doesn't mean that not one of them is in the clear on that. AEW is just as bad at it as WWE
dude.
sometimes.
Feels good to be king.
100%.
Feels good to be right about this guy.
But the thing about the WWE though is that the problem I think we develop in our heads is in NXT. So within their own company, they look at themselves as stars, and then all of a sudden they're on the Vince McMahon shows and they're not anymore. I think that's the issue more so. It's not like they're bringing in that Ring of Honor guy and they just never push him. Then that's one thing.
I got you.
But when he's on NXT, he's headlining takeovers, and all of a sudden he moves up and he's a nobody.
Are we not going to talk about how great the push for my boy Keith Lee's been?
It's been good. I just get scared. I hesitate.
You guys are never happy, dude. You're fucking never happy.
Bro, like
Pete Randy Orton.
But think about it. All right, hold on. Baca, let me ask you a question. You're a huge John Cena fan.
Huge John Cena fan.
So let's say in an alternate universe.
I'm hoping I get cancer again so I can have another Make-A-Wish so I can meet John Cena. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay. How about what are three things you love?
I'm sorry. I should have joked about it. That's not funny to joke about. Go ahead.
I think you like John Cena just because everybody hates John Cena. You're the hipster here.
You understand that John Cena he like sells the most merchandise out of everyone.
Is that why you like him?
Right?
But let me ask you.
He's like me. He's a winner.
Give me a reason. Give me three things you like about John Cena the wrestler. What would that appeal to you? Like what? Say it again.
Loyalty. hustle, and respect.
Okay, so check this.
That's a Young Baca motto.
So check this.
That's a clip of a clip, actually.
What if the hustle, loyalty, respect that got him to be for you to be a fan of his in NXT, alternate universe, the hustle, loyalty, respect thing gets over in NXT. You're heavy on John Cena. You hear he's getting called up to Vince McMahon's Raw. You're even happier for this guy. And then they have him stop doing the hustle, loyalty, respect shit. And then not only that, he has a whole different theme song. Like, and I know it's all aesthetic, but it's like it's just weird to me how the same things that grab the attention.
Randy Orton clean.
Say it again.
He just beat Randy Orton clean.
Ricochet had a match with Brock Lesnar for the title
just
too.
Overall, to me, it's just really weird that the same things that bring these guys to the dance or even get them in the room is what they take away from them when they walk out the room. Like,
you ever seen your favorite rapper? You've been listening to him since day one. This guy's amazing. This guy's great.
Joe Budden.
He signs for a major label later. He signs for a major label, and everything about him is different. The music he makes, where he dresses, where he
that's
true. Put this in perspective.
Happens all the time.
This was my concern with Keith Lee, and it's not my concern. It's Vince's concern, but it's my concern because I know it's Vince's concern.
It's a sensitive time in this country, Brian. Be careful.
No, but Vince being concerned is a concerning thing. Because
I'm going to throw this out there to you.
Yeah.
The body shaming thing. I knew the fact that since Keith's been in the Indies, I was like, and then when I found out he was going to NXT, I was like, all right, NXT's fine. I trust Triple H to be cool with it.
Absolutely.
But when he moves up, Vince is not going to like that his gut kind of hangs below his trunks a little bit. He's a little wide. He doesn't have the six pack. His arms aren't defined, but he does crazy shit. The thing is, he's not necessarily doing all the crazy shit. And Keith Lee, even his facial features, he just looks like a dad. Like, he doesn't even like.
They made him shave the beard and everything.
I'm concerned that the appearance of Keith Lee, because I love Keith Lee, but I'm scared to get invested because I feel like Vince is eventually going to wake up on a Monday and go, "No, this guy's too fat. He can't be my champion."
I mean, that's the thing that's weird about it is like, and I think I've said it before. You got Otis who gets to freaking wrestle with his shirt off all the time, and he's Mr. Money in the Bank. You know what I mean?
But he's a low mid card guy who just randomly got money in the bank.
But he's Mr. Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? Which is damn near a championship.
Do you think it really was an accident that he just landed with the Money in the Bank?
No, I think they're trying. I think it was keep in mind, this is when SmackDown sucked really bad.
Yeah, this is what it was like. Whatever was popping the ratings at the time, right?
And Otis and Mandy's storyline, but the thing is, that's not really a storyline anymore. And now he's got this briefcase, and I think it's legitimate. They just did not have any idea, like, who do we want a year from now? Because I honestly think it was. Imagine when we get a crowd back and then Otis comes to cash in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what they had in mind. But now they're realizing we're not going to have that crowd, and now Otis just has this briefcase.
Now he's kind of
going to lose it. He's just going to lose it.
I mean, I mean, the only person that would make sense, dude, like him versus The Fiend, garbage. Him versus Roman Reigns, garbage. Like, it'd have to be someone like Daniel Bryan or somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
because I do believe let's just say we had fans in August, even if it wasn't like perfect, it was like, let's just say it was like a Full Sail crowd, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, if Otis music hit after a WWE title match, the crowd, that'd be almost Dolph Ziggler levels of
I was
pop.
thinking even like it would definitely remind me of how loud that crowd was when Santino was still in the Royal Rumble type stuff. Like,
so
yeah. Classic,
I just don't. But the thing is, there's no crowd, and I think that's just killing the whole Otis vibe.
Well, I feel like I don't even know who they had in mind as far as who Otis was going to face, or even if he was going to win.
Well, keep in mind, Braun Strowman was champion. Like
that's true.
If anybody was going to take it out, it would have been Braun Strowman. But now all of a sudden, the Fiend won it. Roman won, and now that these people are now getting like, Otis is not even going.
No, yeah, he's like pushed down. I mean, he's been doing the same thing with Miz and Morrison for like the past couple months.
Yeah, but Jey Uso gets a title match, so fuck it.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was thinking too. I was like, that's crazy, but
I dig it. I dig it.
Man.
I dig it, but I don't believe in it.
Cousin? Come on, man. You guys are never fucking happy, dude. You guys are never happy. Let's give somebody else opportunity. But it's a strange time right now. Let's throw some other people to make see how they step up.
That's like if Ivar randomly got a world title match.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But it's a strange time. Let's try some stuff. See what's popping.
Let me ask you, because I know you don't have a whole lot of time, Mr. Baca. You're a busy man. Busy man. But let me ask you about some things. Let me ask you about you guys. There's been some little bit of chatter, some scuttlebutt, as they say, that AJ Styles may be ready to retire soon.
Before his contract's up?
I don't know. I mean, there's been talk about him saying he wants to be Triple H's last match. I don't even know how long his current deal is for, but he was asked about it on his Twitch, and he said that, especially right now during a time where he doesn't have to be at work for the flying out in and out the whole week, that he's been able to go do a lot with his family, spend time with his family, see his son's football games and stuff like that. Which obviously this guy, he's a dad. That's important to him. He's in his 40s, so I don't know. Someone asked him about it. He made it seem like maybe not too far away. So I don't know. I was
he'll go part-time, like super part-time before I think he makes that final decision on not doing anymore. Or even though he says he is going to retire, because the retired word does pop up in like when you have discussion, I think he's going to go officially part-time and then maybe retire like in his 50s.
All I know is that motherfucker better get off Twitch.
Nah, he even said, he's like, dude, he's like, even if I'm on here as Alan Jones, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna be on here. So I was like,
I don't know if my boy Finny Mac likes that, dude. I love AJ
Styles. That snippet. Hey, sir, we got a problem with the podcast.
Oh, dude, I saw that and I was like, I need to share this. That shit was hilarious.
That's so funny, man.
But the WWE they did get kind of pressured to release an additional statement, right, where they said like, well, no, we support this as long as you guys don't use your character names. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird. I heard they're still being weird about Cameo. I don't know.
Hey, this is the Undertaker. I just want to let you know, happy 45th, man.
He's like,
that's what I'm saying,
dead
right?
man. Make sure you check out the Awkward Side Hug podcast.
He's not even in character. He's just like it's the red gray beard.
I know. That'd be hilarious.
Ryan, every time you get somebody to do a cameo for the Awkward Side Hug, I don't know who they are at all.
Well, it's because
who's the last three people? Who's the last three people you got?
We got the guy from The Boys, Mother's Milk from The Boys. We got Dean Blandino, the instant replay guy.
Wait, you got Mother's Milk?
Yeah,
that's what's up, dude.
Who's instant replay guy?
First of all,
Dean Blandino.
Can we just have a whole side podcast about The Boys? Because I don't know anyone else that watches that show.
The Boys is so dope. If you want to do a side podcast on that,
makes me so happy because
my neighbor he watches The Boy. He doesn't shut the hell up about it. He says it's the best show ever.
Dude, it is. Like, I try to put someone else onto it. I'm like, yeah, it's like superheroes, but like it's corrupt. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, it's like like I don't know. It's hard to like put into words to people. I try to show them like the preview, like the trailer for the first season, and they just like were whatever about it. I was like, all right. I mean,
this season 2 though is so good so far.
And then that's when you decided it wasn't going to be a second date.
Mm-hmm. Who you talking to me?
I'm talking to you. When she didn't appreciate The Boys trailer, you said this is it.
No, it wasn't even a female. It was a coworker of mine who he gets down on the DC Marvel universe type stuff. And I'm like, oh, you should sink your teeth into this. This is actually pretty cool.
It's Amazon, right? It's Amazon.
Yeah, it's so dope.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
I'm gonna get a few episodes under my belt before the next time we come up here. Because I don't have an opinion on because I haven't watched it.
The first season's available. You'll watch. You should definitely watch that. The second season just dropped, but they're only dropping episodes every Friday. So, but you know what? Last question before you get out of here, Baca. I gotta get your opinion on this. There's been a lot of talk about the future of Brock Lesnar and what's going on. Honestly, I think it's business as usual. It's nothing that's gonna change anything, to be honest. But we did get word that Daniel Cormier, obviously big-time wrestling fan, obviously long-time caller, long-time listener, first-time caller trying to get into, the octagon with Brock. He actually just came out and said that he's down to face Brock at a WrestleMania.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing to see Brock Lesnar kick his ass. That'd be great. I would love it. I love Brock Lesnar. I love John Cena, and then Brock Lesnar second to me.
What would you do if Brock Lesnar went to AEW?
He wouldn't go to AEW.
I know he wouldn't.
The first person to say that. I don't want to see him there.
Yeah, but that's the Hulk Hogan move, the Scott Hall move,
hey, man,
Kevin Nash move. Even if it's for one night, just one night. Like Brock Lesnar signed a one-night contract, did like I don't know whatever pay-per-view they have, and he faces somebody in a squash match. You know, people are gonna buy that shit and watch that shit.
Yeah. The problem is there's still, from what I'm being told, there's still tension between Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar. You know, some heat from the backstage.
I don't know. I mean, like he ain't the money guy, so it don't really matter. Like if Tony wants,
You telling me Chris Jericho ain't running shit over there?
You said what?
Y2J's running shit over there, man.
If they put on their next pay-per-view, Orange Cassidy versus Brock Lesnar with no build, there's no build whatsoever. You're tuning in.
I'll do one better. If
I got an Orange Cassidy shirt.
If it was Brock versus Marco Stunt on free TV, I'd watch that. Yeah,
I would totally
100%.
He would F5
but that's part of my problem with like Brock being there. I'm like, there's nobody that's really a body guy outside the big guys like the Hagers, the Luchasauruses, and stuff. Like, I don't want to see him tossing Jungle Boy around and all these guys are supposed to be like, dude, like Darby already gets freaking abused on
just destroyed every
you know
week.
What I'm saying? Like think about who somebody coordinated, like, you know, because Cage don't know what the fuck he's doing. I'm sorry. Dude's reckless as shit. But you think about what you saw what Brock did to that Cadillac CTS. Think about what he would do with Darby Allin.
Oh, what about what he did? What about what he did to that guy with one leg, man?
Oh, Zach Gowen, and then also what he did? Didn't he? Yeah, he did something with Rey Mysterio too, right? Where he like threw him, like just like God, like.
I have 2 points. I don't think they should do this if they were to. Obviously, I don't think Brock Lesnar's ever going there. I don't even know if AEW necessarily wants Brock Lesnar either. But I think if he called, they would listen. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, he definitely would.
But Jake Hager, if they really wanted to build some stupid MMA kind of
that's
like,
what I was saying too.
But let me throw another thing about Brian Cage. I'm going to throw this out there to you guys, and obviously, I'm not saying I don't like Brian Cage, but I'm going to throw this out there to you. I would say Brian Cage was probably one of the top 5 stars of Lucha Underground when it was going on, and they never put the damn strap on him for a reason. And I think it's because he's reckless and he's
not a wrestler. Yeah,
he's not safe. All look, he's probably one of the better big men in wrestling. I'll give him that. But he's still just a big guy, and it's more of his physique why people like him. In my opinion.
There's a definite.
I gotta go, man. I'm out of here, man. Young Baca, follow me on Instagram at Young Baca Productions. I love you guys. See you guys later, man.
All right,
see you next time, man.
We'll finish this up, and then we'll
Do your thing.
I'll just say there's definitely a reason why he's never gotten a call back or a look at from WWE. I mean, outside the fact people think he's juicing already, which I get it. But, you know, I've worked with dude, and he definitely oversteps his boundaries sometimes. Us as a booker, he changed up a show we had booked that we had already been paid for, and they switched up a lineup that we had advertised just because he was like, oh, I got another date I got to make or another show I got to make. We got to hurry. I'm like, no, dude, you're the one who, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if Cage has a history of being hard to work with. I just know with us, after that show, we never booked him again. We booked him, I think, 3 shows. And yeah, dude's talented. Dude has a look, 100%. But again, like you said, there's a reason why. I mean, the only place that put their strap on him was Impact Wrestling, and he got beat by Tessa for that championship.
Something like that.
Or I know he had to wrestle her a bunch of times for that strap, and I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like, if I didn't know who Brian Cage was, but I was a fan of AEW before he showed up, and someone showed me both clips of what he did with Darby Allin, I would think that he has like real heat with Darby Allin, because like, bro, like both times you didn't even try to protect him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just I feel bad for Darby because he definitely needs something. He needs something else, dude. Like,
well, speaking of Baca, saying that they don't try to make new stars, Brian Cage is technically a Impact / indie guy, and they put a rocket to him. Obviously, he was probably not going to beat Moxley, but they put a rocket to him, and now,
he's just kind of in orbit. Yeah, he's not really.
He's holding a fake championship and acting really big.
You know, Tony Khan did say that they had big plans. Recently, he said they had big plans for the FTW championship, but, you know, that's what they said about the Deadly Draw women's tag team tournament.
They should just make the FTW championship like a cash-in kind of thing. Like, even if it's for the TNT championship or the World Heavyweight Championship, if you're holding the title, you could cash in whenever you want. Kind of like how Lucha Underground kind of did it.
I was thinking that they could even use it. I don't want to call it a hardcore title, but I mean, guys like Lance Archer or Joe Janela and Darby, like I mean, it could be like almost like an ultra violence type of thing. But I don't want. Obviously, we don't want to see it every week. But I don't know.
It's just weird to me. Like, to me, they never explained that the championship has value. Like, they kind of explained that it's kind of like a heavyweight championship, but to be honest, like, it hasn't been treated like one since. And
no, like, and they haven't really clarified if there's an actual division for it, if it's actually being recognized as a championship,
or is it just a Brian Cage thing? Like, if Brian Cage ever loses it, or Brian Cage just randomly one week shows up without it, it's not going to change anything. And I think
exactly. I mean, if he's not going to defend it, I mean, because what's different from him than all of us fans that walk into a show with a belt on our shoulder, you know what I mean, or on our ways.
I also thought, like, if they feel like they wanted another championship, maybe this isn't even championship; it's more of a prop for him. I don't know, but I always thought it would be really cool to have an AEW Dark Championship for literally the low card, and then defending the buy-in show every pay-per-view.
I could see that, because at least it gives you another reason to want to tune into the Dark show, because there are some surprises as far as who you might see on there, but it doesn't happen consistently enough for you to want to check it out every week. Like, oh, what's going to happen this week? It's a bunch of tune-up matches. It is what it is. You know, FTR's been on there. John Moxley's been on there. Several of their, bigger names been on there. But this would definitely give it another, like, a new look as far as, like, why people would want to check it out at all.
Do you think it's okay?
Because I feel like that was the problem with the Deadly Draw tournament. It's like you had a bunch of women's wrestlers that were made into tag teams, but there was, like, no real prize. There was, like, no real hook to want to check it out. You know what I mean? So they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot with something like that again.
Especially since they're all Frankenstein tag teams. They could have literally did like a winner of this tournament gets put into a triple threat at the next, like, All Out, right? So it's
them two versus the champion,
right.
That would have been way better, especially with a name like Deadly Draw. There's a story you could build there based on, like, well, this team worked together at one point, maybe they work together now, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. And the thing is about Dark, which is, like, I've seen some Dark matches. They're not bad. They're actually pretty good. It's just, my thing is when you throw Kenny Omega or you throw Moxley on the show, sometimes it's like, it's dope, but it's like a squash match. Like, it would be really interesting if, like, they really was like once every 6 episodes, they have a legitimate, like, kind of main event match to put on YouTube, and then people would tune in. And I think that would be really dope, especially when you're trying to transition to the show they're going to put on TNT eventually, because, like, right now it's main event. It's better than main event, but it's main event. They did say that the second show that they are supposed to be producing for TNT is not going to be AEW Dark. So
okay.
So it's going to be something different entirely. I don't know. I don't want to say different entirely, but it's not AEW Dark. So.
Okay, cool. I actually like that.
But yeah, because that definitely opens up more possibilities as far as what talent we can expect on there and different things that they can do. But yeah, the FTW championship. Yeah, he doesn't defend it. They don't say if there's any value to it. I'm with you. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, obviously at the time when they gave it to him, it was meant to kind of protect him for his loss. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, even if he loses against Moxley, he still has a championship that he can carry around, even if it doesn't mean anything to anybody else but these 3 guys. And that's just the problem I have with it. But then again, I mean, I'm not really that invested in Cage right now anyways to really care too much. But I do want to see maybe if they're going to open up a new avenue of or a new division, I should say, of athletes to try to get some gold at his expense with the FTW championship. But
I'm surprised they never cashed in on a pay-per-view Darby Allin versus Brian Cage.
Yeah, they haven't had a match yet. And I mean, and I think it's because every time that they're supposed to do a match, like, he actually gets injured because of the shit that he did to him.
Right. And
so,
I think,
I mean,
like,
they said
especially for the FTW championship, you have a stipulation. Even if you don't want to do the stipulation, the match still has a blood feud vibe to it. Like, it just seems like it was perfect for All Out. But
I think the FTW, it could be like an anything goes title. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be hardcore, but like someone like Darby Allin with a belt around his waist that stands for fuck the world, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With his character. So it's like, and it makes sense that he'd be willing to put himself, not only just his opponent, but put himself through so much just to keep it. I think it'd be a good look. If they're not going to do anything substantial with Darby, which, I mean, I don't know if he'd ever win the TNT championship. I wouldn't mind it. I would like better things for him. But if they don't see that, you know, those bigger things for him, because that's the thing. He doesn't want to wrestle that much longer. He wants to wrestle, have a good run, and then I think in 5 years, like 4 or 5 years, he wants to start making his movies because he's like a movie buff.
Right.
So it's like, dude, I want to see him do something before he hangs it up. So, you know, just because he wrestles all these guys that are big names and loses doesn't really do anything for him, you know?
That's true.
But yeah, if they were to do something, whether it's FTW champion or I don't know, maybe he ends up teaming with Moxley and they do some tag team stuff later down the line. That'd be kind of cool too.
Well, I like your idea of making it kind of like an anything goes match. Like it doesn't necessarily have the hardcore label, so it doesn't necessarily need to be a hardcore match, but it could.
And it
be,
doesn't have to be 24/7 either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make it, but it's
it
like,
just means that like when the match is made, the ref's only in there to count a pinfall or submission.
Yeah.
But it's basically falls count anywhere. You're adding every stipulation that you want to add in there. Anything goes. The rest is there, and they can label it that, so it doesn't have some like extreme rules, hardcore label to it. It's just anything goes. Fuck the world. We're doing this match.
Yeah,
the thing is, like, you're on
rules,
TNT, so you can't say fuck the world, like, right? So it's like, I don't know. It's. I would personally be totally okay if Brian Cage 1 week just showed up without the title, and it wasn't explained. Obviously, I'd still have beef with that. I'd complain about that on the show, but
I wouldn't have as much to complain about him carrying it around every week and not doing anything with it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it, but at the same time, if he shows up without it, then I need a new direction for him too. You know. Because I don't know what they're doing, dude. They keep teasing all these big guys fighting each other, but they never do. I don't know. I mean, and I get it because they want to save these matchups for when they actually have like full capacity, but. Dude, we gotta. I mean, you got most of your crowd is watching via TV, so you gotta make it. You know,
the numbers are similar, right? The number.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did just hit their first 1 million rating this past Wednesday, which is huge, obviously. But the obvious thing is they were unopposed. NXT was on Tuesday, so there's that too. But they gotta do something, man, because. Us as fans, I know we get exhausted trying to sit up here and try to change the narrative of, all ex-WWE guys, which is what they say AEW stands for, you know? And It's hard to argue that when you got the Moxleys, the FTRs as champions, Brody Lee as champion, Brody Lee getting the title shot. All these ex-WWE guys seem to be more or less getting the push more than not. But they got to do the same thing with these new guys, man. Like
that's true.
They got to move the pieces on them too. I mean, I'm glad to see Miro join. I was really happy to see that. That was an actual like shoot surprise for me because I had no idea who it was going to be.
And he did a really good job of covering that up. And the thing is, we all got invested in Rusev Day, so we want to see him be successful.
That's what I mean. Like I had to kind of that's what I had to school Rabbit a little bit. Not Rabbit. Shay. Shout out to Shay Waddy at B-Side Show. Because he saw that I posted the clip of it, and he was like, I'm tired of these ex-WWE guys. All they do is talk shit on WWE. And I'm like, true. But actually, it's actually kind of warranted this time, and this is why. You know, and he had no idea about, you know, Vince shooting down the Rusev, pretty much killing Rusev Day because it was getting over, and he didn't want it to get over, and all this other BS. So I'm excited for him.
Me too.
Yeah, he's an ex-WWE guy, but again, like I said, what do you expect him to do, man? I mean, I would have loved it. I would rather see him in AEW than
Impact.
Yeah, because they've already picked up 6 or 7 ex-WWE guys from when they released them all at once.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously, some of them are ex-TNA guys already, but whatever. But the one thing I did hear that his contract with AEW allows him to wrestle New Japan dates too, which that was one place I actually did want to see him if he didn't join any of the companies in the United States. I wouldn't mind seeing him in New Japan, taking on some of those big, heavy names out there like freaking Ishii and freaking Suzuki. But knowing that he actually has a chance to go out there and do that, it's pretty good. It's pretty dope to know. He has a contract like Moxley though. He can't appear on any of their U.S. dates. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to go, but definitely excited for him. Yeah, I mean, that's all I could really say about that.
Yeah, I guess we could just close it out then.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I can't really think of anything else big that happened in wrestling this week. Baca left the podcast, so that's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the show for this week. Definitely thank you, Brian, as well as Baca, who left already. But hopefully we get together next week.
Absolutely.
Keep this going as long as wrestling stays interesting. But yeah, this has been For the Love of Wrestling. Quincy Jones Go, as along with Brian Andrew. You can follow us at Flow Wrestling Show on our social media, and we're going to keep it going for you guys, man. Till next time, we out.